So today, I welcome you all in my career talk organized by OR Society. So we'll discuss the OR applications and how it helps managing business decisions and risks. So yes, so basically operational research is that requires the knowledge from the subject domain, mainly the mathematical subjects and programming applications, like combination of both. And we'll also discuss how it is being used to solve real life problems, or we can say everyday problems. In other words, maybe industry problem, business problem. So basically all types of problem we can solve using operational research. So it's a very interesting, varied and fun career using mathematics. This is the application of mathematical methods. This operational research is the application of mathematical methods and advanced analysis to improve decision making process. So this is science of better decision making. This helps decision makers, managers, academicians, researchers, scientists to take a better decision. Fine. So this is used by many business, including manufacturing and major service economies such as healthcare, retail, education, airline, banking, and etc. Almost every manufacturing and service economies in that huge applications of operational research. So what my job in operational research area, so I will explain a bit more in detail. So I am a senior research fellow in Indian Institute of Management and also assistant professor at SPU. And prior to that, I was there in United World School of Business and Xavier Institute of Social Service. And my professional affiliations is with the OR Society and Informs and POMS. These are the other professional affiliations. So the career in operational research. So I will discuss from both the aspects. One is teaching, other is research. So research includes academic research as well as industrial research. Industrial applications, research related to academic works, mainly the master's project or doctoral work project, and other is the industrial projects, industrial works. And academics includes the teaching responsibilities, like different subjects are there related to operational research, like operation research, supply chain management, production and operations management. So in each and every subject, we can use OR models. So OR models helps in lot many ways to solve business problem, industry problem, or even day-to-day problem, the real life problems. In research, I did projects in energy sectors like National Thermal Power Corporation and oil and natural gas corporations. So basically this operation research models are designed to project the supply, demand, and pricing of energy fuels over time. So if you see the price of petrochemical products, or if you see the demands are fluctuating, highly uncertain. So uncertainty, whenever we are discussing the uncertainty, this involves a lot of risk factors, like so risk associated from the supplier side, from the demand side. So market demand, even in the logistics, if we consider the example of petrochemical industry, so demand is from supply side, and as well as risk factor is associated from with supply side as well as demand side. So we need to manage all those uncertainty with the help of operation research model. So a lot of methods are there So apart from these forecasting models and managing the transportation problem, assignment problems, so I also did research work related to efficiency evaluation and measuring the impact of determinants of efficiency on major service economy. So I will explain here a bit more. So what this efficiency evaluation means. So there are a lot of models in operations research. For example, one is data envelopment analysis. So data envelopment analysis, while using those models, what we can do, we can evaluate the efficiency of any manufacturing or service organization at different levels. So when I use this word, this particular word, different levels, it means we can evaluate the efficiency at individual level, departmental level, institutional level, or we can evaluate at state level, country level, or cross-country comparison for any service economy sector or manufacturing sector. For example, steel manufacturing organizations are there, companies are there. So comparing India versus China or India versus UK. Similarly, in education, like UK, USA, Australia, India, other countries. So we can compare the efficiency of different educational institutions. So how we will compare? So there are different models, like one I use data envelopment analysis. So based on some criteria, some input criteria and some output criteria. So based on those input and output criteria, will evaluate the efficiency. And the second part, which is here, measuring the impact of determinants of efficiency on major service economy. So for example, educational institution, or we can say airline industry, any example we can take. Let's take any example from service sector. So one is education, or we can say healthcare. So one thing is, one part is assessment of or evaluation of the efficiency. Other part is how determinants of efficiency, meaning the other variables, for example, locational variables, organizational factors is there. So how those factors, for example, the urban versus non-urban, or the population density. So there are many variables, for example, economic growth and in a particular region, and how uh, that may impact the service economy. So we can measure all those impacts on the service sectors. Another method is SFA. SFA means stochastic frontier analysis. So one is DEA, other is SFA. DEA is data envelopment analysis, and SFA is stochastic frontier analysis. So from both the models, we can evaluate the efficiency of any firm or at different levels. So as I discussed earlier, we can evaluate at institutional level, state level, country level, and we can compare these service economy, these service sectors at cross country level, across different countries. We can also evaluate all those things. Fine. So apart from this, in the project selections, so I also did lot of research while how to select industrial projects. So there are different criterias, like one is financial criteria, another is non-financial criteria. So we can see tangible versus intangible factors. So financial criteria like NPV, PVR, NPV, IRR, and all those things we can calculate, which comes under the financial criteria. But apart from financial criteria, there are also non-financial criteria. For example, the experience of a particular organization while operating the kind of a special projects. So prior experience is available or not, or that may impact the entire project operations. So a lot of intangible factors are there, which which are very crucial while selecting the industrial projects. So there are different MCDM techniques. For example, one technique is AHP, another technique is TOPSIS. So while using AHP and TOPSIS, we can select the best feasible project for a particular sector. Let's say education sector or banking sector or maybe healthcare sector. So another research work I did for airline industry. So like we have various areas in that particular sectors. For example, one is pricing strategy. So how it helped that airline industry while using dynamic pricing. So basically the objective is optimizing the revenue. So profit maximization versus cost minimization. And apart from these two objectives, another objective is to enhance the satisfaction level of customers. So what kind of models we can develop to help this particular industry? So basically this requires the non-linear programming knowledge and non-linear optimization techniques. Mainly if I use this dynamic pricing and revenue optimization in a particular airline industry or in other sectors as well. So whenever the objective is optimizing the revenue and profit maximization, mainly the in revenue optimization, non-linear programming models being used. Then another kind of research experience is process optimization. So let's take an example of healthcare sector. Fine. So let's consider one healthcare organization is there, and there lots of issues are there. For example, the patient queue length is more, and the constraint related to a space and resources. So basically, while developing a model, OR model, using with the help of simulation, we can improve the entire process, how a patient will come in that particular system and how to enhance their satisfaction level, how to provide them better facility. So basically improving the entire process, So how a customer in a system, and after that, how to minimize the time, cost, and also maximize the satisfaction level of patients, customers. So basically managing the resources while targeting on the number of senior doctors, consultants, junior doctors. So what we are doing here we are managing the resources and improving the process of entire healthcare sector, entire healthcare organization. So with the help of simulation techniques. So there are a lot of modeling techniques are there in simulation. So I use that kind of research work in my doctoral course and doctoral degree. So basically these all I did in my research work in my doctoral research. So fine. Then a bit more how this operational research is extremely relevant in almost all the service sectors. For example, let's take example of supermarkets. Fine. So this OR methods or OR models helps in understanding consumers' buying pattern, their buying behavior. Fine. So one customer will go and select the one product. So what he will select the next. So the buying pattern and the buying behaviors we can predict with the help of operational research models. Then identify the most valuable consumers and making a strategy for loyalty cards. So the customers who is most valuable for the organization, obviously our organization will try to provide them the better facilities as compared to other customers. So how to club all those things, how to cluster all those things, with the help of OR models, OR techniques, we can identify them. Then determining the number of staff needed on checkout and when it is required. So a staff sequencing and scheduling. So there are a lot of techniques in OR which helps in sequencing and scheduling problems. Then this is very critical for any retail organization sectors like inventory management. So EOQ models are there. So within EOQ models, we can use deterministic models as well as stochastic models, probabilistic models. So depending on what our assumption or practical applications is. So basically the demand, the lead time, the reorder level, each and everything we need to consider while modeling all those things. So to approach within EOQ models, deterministic as well as probabilistic models. Fine. In deterministic model, we assume that this demand, lead time, all is not changing, not varying with respect to time, However, in the stochastic models, in every factor, uncertainty or risk is associated. For example, demand is uncertain, lead time is uncertain. So, and after that, delivery times. So this comes under the service responsiveness. So let's try to understand these two aspects. One is efficiency, other is responsiveness. Efficiency versus responsiveness. So there is a trade-off. If you focus on one factor, then you need to compromise with the other factors. So service responsiveness is related to how quickly, how fast you are able to provide the product, or we can say services, to your customers. However, efficiency is managing all your resource in a optimal manner, in a optimistic manner, so that we can focus on profit maximization or cost minimization. So both things, efficiency and responsiveness. So any business organization need to trade off between these two, and the best trade off is known as a strategic fit for any business organization. So obviously this operational research helps the business to keep customers happy and make good profits. Examples from another sectors, for example, airlines. So what we can do, forecasting where people want to go and when. So this reduces the demand uncertainty. So there are risk factors associated with demand. So with the help of OR model, we can reduce the demand uncertainty. Then setting the ticket price. Remember the example of dynamic pricing. So this will change with respect to time, with respect to situation, and we can say location as well. So for different situations, there will be different prices. So this will not be constant. This will vary with respect to another factors. So again, come to the process improvement part. So here is the role of simulation. So simulating boarding the plane, minimizing the queuing time, and helps in developing boarding strategy. So that will enhance the customer satisfaction. So here see the approach. At one part, we are focusing on the revenue optimization, revenue maximization, profit maximization, while managing the resources in an efficient manner so that the cost will be minimized. And at the other side, we are designing the entire process, the airline industry, entire process to provide maximum facilities with better experience to our customers. So this is how these models are helping to enhance, maximize the customer satisfaction as well. Then another example in the healthcare sector. So moving people through waiting lists as quickly as possible. So managing the queue. So there are a lot of techniques, like one is queuing theory. So a lot of models are there. So using those models, we can manage all those issues. So how to minimize the queue length to provide the better experience to the patient, or minimize the time, so that uh, they can get better service in a very less time. Then using the hospital resources. So hospital resources means the staffs available, and within staffs there are like senior doctors, consultants, junior doctors, nurses. So how to use all those resources efficiently. Fine. Then process versus resource optimization. So there are two things. One is your entire healthcare operations, the process, and another thing is resources. So generally when we talk the optimization, fine, profit maximization or revenue optimization, revenue maximization, then this comes with the some constraint. So what are the constraints? What are the constraints? These resources, we have limited resources, like limited number of staffs, limited number of senior doctors, junior doctors, healthcare staffs, other staffs like nurses and other healthcare staffs. So with the help of those limited resources, we need to maximize the revenue, we need to maximize the profit, and at the other on the other hand, we need to provide better facilities so that the satisfaction level of patient will increase in that particular healthcare organization. So this managing resources is a very critical and challenging, always challenging, because time, budget, fundings, money, and staffs, this we all need to, lot of different algorithms and models are there. By using those models, we can sequence and schedule in the entire operations. Another example, increasing the number of transplant operations. So algorithm to optimize the kidney transplant surgery. So using OR models, we can use in various service economy. And basically when it is used, when a decision is complex, when you don't know how well things are working or think they could work better. So decision making and problem solving in business can be complicated and messy. Why? The reasons. The reason is each factors and each and every factors is related with another issues or problems. So there are not a single factor. Whenever we are trying to select any industrial project or want to take any decisions related to business, or we can say in particular industry sectors, so there are not one factor, there are multiple factors from various aspects. So it's always challenging to consider all those factors and then select the best solution, select the best and feasible solution for that particular business problem. For example, multiple factors such as uncertain demand, lead times, then availability of resources, so shortage of resources, technological changes, and also environmental factors and government regulations. So we can say the challenges from different aspects. Fine. So for example, while selecting a project, a project manager need to see all those things, the environmental factors, what are the what are the availability of resources, the locational factors, the government regulations, which is very crucial in this context, and also the lead time and the demand for that particular product or project in that particular population. So all those things are very critical. So I have also did work related to all those things, like selecting a project, industrial projects, how to select the best and feasible project. So these are my experience. So what I did during my master's and doctoral courses, and also I am using all those things while I used to teach the UG and PG, the undergraduate and postgraduate students, and when I interacted with any industry executives, business executives, then different factors are there. So we need to consider whenever we are recommending anything, there are a lot of factors. So that's why this word is there, multiple factors, multiple factors. And this is the reason that in this context, the solution or the situation is very challenging. So that's how OR is helping, operational research models helping to achieving. So basically this operational research helps decision makers to achieve their business goals and manage the uncertainty and risk. So what techniques usually we used? One is simulation. So simulation is used to try different solution and answer the what if questions. So what if questions meaning considering different situations. Like one we can take example, like let's consider the pessimistic situation, another is optimistic situation, and third is like average kind of thing, most likely. So when everything is like usual and things are going okay, then in that situation what will happen? So three different kind of scenarios, and that is not the maximum. We can consider as many as possible. So depending on the resources, the fundings, the budgets, and other resources and availability of all other things. So we can consider different scenarios. So basically what if questions or scenario analysis, all those things we can incorporate in the simulation models. So different situation, like when everything is against what we have assumed, so like pessimistic kind of thing, then everything is in our favor, so that is optimistic kind of thing. And third is the neutral way, when everything is like average, most likely approach. So considering various situations and then finding the feasible solution, and then among those feasible solution, selecting the optimal one, which is the best solution, the optimal solution. So feasible solution, and among feasible solutions, the optimal solution, selecting the optimal ones. Then apart from simulation, optimization techniques, as I discussed earlier, uses various problem solving methods, algorithms to achieve the best outcomes depending on what variable is most important. So remember in like just few minutes before, I used word efficiency versus responsiveness. Efficiency versus responsiveness. So here comes the trade-off. So all those things you need to incorporate in the models. So like time, cost, and profit. So what actually the objective is? Time is related to responsiveness, cost and profit is related to efficiency. So this is very important for any business organization to achieve their strategic fit. So trade-off between efficiency and responsiveness. So designing the algorithms, the models to achieve their business objectives. And optimization will find the best use of limited resources. As I said earlier, whenever we are using this word optimization, this optimization comes along with the limited resources. So in other words, these resources are our constraint as well, because time, number of people, availability of resources, the raw materials, all these things we need to manage to in our operations, in our all operational activities. So these are very limited kind of things, so that's why these are constraints, and with the help of these limited resources we need to find the best solution, the optimal solution. Fine. So there comes the role of OR techniques. So if I consider all those situations and try to categorize these techniques in various applications. So one, I can say process optimization. Process optimization is dealing with what all activities we are doing to complete any task or work, how to optimize that process, whether minimizing the cost or time with a with not compromising from the quality of the product or service. That is very important. So if we compromise on quality, then the customer satisfaction will decrease. So this is very important, without compromising with the quality of any product or services, how to minimize the time and cost. So that is how process optimization is applicable in the various service economy or manufacturing sectors. Then resources optimization. So we have limited resources, and with the help of those limited resources, how to achieve the maximum profit or how to maximize the overall revenue. That's the core objective of any business organization. So apart from revenue optimization, the pricing strategy that helps to boost the revenue, so with the help of dynamic pricing, so price will change with respect to several other factors, with respect to time, with respect to location, with respect to several other factors. So that will not be a constant, that will vary. So that's why dynamic pricing, and it helps to achieve the revenue maximization objective. Then designing the safety, this is very important, this is very essential also. The designing the safety and security mechanism, which is highly applicable and practical in almost all industry. So safety and security mechanism in manufacturing as well as in service organizations such as airline industry, healthcare, banking, education, power plants like energy sectors, power plants means the energy sectors, and other service and manufacturing sectors. Then this is where the OR take you. Where can OR take you? The different organizations, KPMG and IBM, British Airways, then Unilever, and all those things are there. Then these are the OR jobs like OR scientist, data scientist, uh, business development analyst, industrial engineer, and you can see various OR jobs in this slide. Then this membership from the Operational Research Society, the OR Society, providing the student membership free, and also they are organizing various events like career fairs, career talks, and various other events for undergraduates and postgraduate students, and for school students as well. So if thinking of looking for a job, then you must attend careers open day organized by the OR Society. Then yes, questions.
That was really, really interesting. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Eve.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please do put them in the chat or the Q&A.
Chandan, sorry. What's the most enjoyable thing about your job? What's the best thing about it?
We are so just to discuss this when I used to work in this area, in this domain, so we are always try to manage the business problems or to solve the business problems or even in day-to-day life problems. So currently I am working in the project in research like efficiency assessment of academic institutions. So there are various factors like, and lot of research work has been done in UK, United Kingdom and USA. So, but in other developing countries, the such kind of research is growing. So basically, if I talk about healthcare sector or education sector, so there are a lot of factors which can impact all those institutions, or we can say the organizations. So how to assess their efficiency and what other factors, how other factors can impact their efficiency. So this is always very interesting and challenging as well. Another thing I discussed before, just before a few minutes, like with the help of multi-criteria decision making. So there are a lot of MCDM techniques like AHP and TOPSIS, DEA, and other techniques are there. So with the help of those techniques, how to find the best solution for a problem which may be or can be impacted with the multiple criteria. For example, job selection, project selection, and any other problem which is associated with the multiple criteria. For example, in project selection, there is government regulations, environmental factors, technological changes, and financial and non-financial aspects are there. So how to select the best one? So we have a list of alternatives. So first part is identify the list of alternatives, so feasible solution. The second part is find the best one, which is the best solution. So it's very challenging and we need to think in different aspects, and that is how research work goes. Another thing is teaching aspects. So in academic institutions, so since I used to teach undergraduates and postgraduates, so that's the academics part. So a lot of discussions and questions from the student, and so that also gives a lot of different kind of uh, thinking aspects from like when you interact in a class or with a lot of students. So obviously they will question, and then again you may start thinking in that way as well.
Wow.
So
thanks for that, Chandan. That's really insightful.
Yes.
I think Kate's got a question.
So in chat box,
it's in the Q&A. So Kate asks, is it relatively easy to adapt OR to affect social change at grassroots level rather than at institutional or organizational levels?
Yes, it's very easy. It's not that tough. Fine. So the method, the technique I use, data envelopment analysis, that technique we can use like for example, how if I take example of any government organization, so how that government organization are working at departmental level, institutional level, country level. So yes, we can identify all those things, we can assess the efficiency. And basically if I see the carriers and a scope of operational research, so it requires knowledge of mathematics, so that is essential. So knowledge of mathematics and a bit programming, because we need to sometimes in designing the stochastic models, probabilistic models, we need to use different programming techniques, and that is very useful to solve business problems and mitigating the risk factors, managing the uncertainty. So bit of mathematics and programming language helps a lot in OR careers. Yes.
Kate says, thank you.
Yes, welcome, Kate. Always
and
welcome. You can interact always.
Just to add to that, if you're interested in OR to help affect social change, Kate, have a look at the OR Society website. We run an event every year that has this thing called Making an Impact, and it's where people in the OR community get together to look at things like it could be societal change, addressing things like inequality, or it could be things that impact people like climate change and global warming.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd have a look at the web address on screen.
Yes, again some question I think in Q&A. Okay, so Kate says thank you. Yes. Okay. So in any sectors we can use this OR techniques. Energy sectors, just I gave the example for thermal power plant and petrochemical industries in oil and gas sectors. So definitely considering all these situations, factors, environmental factor is there, government regulations is there. So while designing the OR models, we need to consider the different aspects, various aspects. Yes.
I've just dropped a link to the page I was on about in the chat box rather than the Q&A box. Just makes it a little bit easier for people to find. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay. So I think that just about wraps up our talk. Thank you very, very much, Chandan, for volunteering your time today. That was a really interesting talk.
Yes.
Again, Chandan, on behalf of the university, yes. Thanks. I think that's really, really insightful, and hopefully more students will be able to access it via the recordings. Yes, yes. But I mean, for me, I've got a far better understanding of operational research than I had an hour ago.
Yes.
So thanks for that.
Thank you, Declan. And if I would also like to thank OR Society and University of Northampton for providing this opportunity to me in this career talk. Thank you very much. Thank you, Declan.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Yes. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Take care.